are in.
We
What's up, Daniel?
are.
Yes, you are. Thanks for, I don't know if I was early, late.
Early's always good.
Hey,
It's
can never complain there.
better than late any day. So.
That's a fact.
So, out of curiosity, in regular life, do you generally go by Daniel? Do people call you Rudy? Do you correct them? What is the
No,
general?
I came from a large family of 14, 7 sisters, 6 brothers. So we were all called Rudy from that day because of so many kids. It's easy to call you Rudy and remember your name.
Yeah, 14 kids. Like, do you
Yeah.
even know? Like, is it hard to even keep track of 14 kids in one home? Like, I can't even imagine.
I was the third oldest, so I got to leave early because I went to the Navy,
Yep.
so I got my own skivvies.
The poor 14th kid. Like at that point, yeah,
They were treated better, let's put it that way. No, but a large family is interesting for sure. But at the same time, I don't know how my parents did it.
I would imagine you got some of your football skills from that. No, like need to go
Well,
to the bathroom, you got to stiff arm a
you were,
brother to get out of the way.
you were, you were a scrapper.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, with everything that's going on with your life and all, at times do you get surprised that, obviously, with a movie about your life, it
Yeah.
helps it, but are you surprised when day to day life people are just like, I remember that play, I remember where it's at, I
No,
remember who
it's
you
not. You
are.
know what? It's interesting that the movies really isn't about football.
Right.
It's more about life. And when people criticize a movie about football, he was offside, it was a joke. Hey, dude, you missed a message. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, man. Get real. Where's your heart? Where's your soul? And basically, the movie represented something that who wouldn't want to play for one play at Notre Dame? Who wouldn't want to bat one time at Yankee Stadium? Who
Sure.
wouldn't want that? And I wanted that basically for my father, not for me, more for my father. So it was more of a gift to him than to me. So there was a price I paid because once I learned two things. One, I don't let people define me. I define myself. I learned that in the Navy. And second, no one's stupid. It's how you apply your skills and your your knowledge that you have to do what you need to do. And in school, it was the opposite. You know, they put you down, they made you feel bad,
Mhm.
they embarrassed you when you were trying, you have a learning disorder, they didn't know how to handle. So they were a little confused how to handle a kid like me, but that's okay. It taught me a lot about myself and what to do, but it was a lot of hard lessons. But that Notre Dame, when you go to Notre Dame, this is the magic of Notre Dame. When you finally make it to Notre Dame, they assume you're smart. So they treat you as a smart kid.
Yep.
Hmm.
It's a culture you're in and you act smart, you do smart things, and you do what the smart kids do: study, work together, ask questions, collaborate. That's what we did in the Navy. So I'm glad I went to Navy before Notre Dame because it helped pay for some of the tuition. And it also allowed me to find a junior college because in high school, they would say people who go to junior college are stupid. Well, that's that Catholic high school, all boys school kind of mentality. You
Mhm.
know, you're either the elite of the class or you're like I mean, if you took woodshop, you're a dummy. Well, guess what? That doctor's hiring that woodshop guy,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
that plumbing guy, that electrical guy. So my point is there are skill sets that are very important. And that's what I learned in the Navy. Your skill sets are the key to succeed in life. Look at you guys. Look how much fun you're having.
Yeah.
This,
You would think that, but I have to sit with him for an hour and a
well,
half.
you would
a
think
week.
that, a lot of people can't do what you do because they cannot communicate like you can, or you have a sense of humor.
You know.
You gotta
Yeah.
have a sense of humor in order to do what you do, because you're gonna interview some pretty heavy duty people, um, I'm sure. But
Yep.
a guy like me, I'm just an average Joe.
I was always curious, like watching the movie and looking up your story and how when you went to the Navy and when you went to what was it, Holy Cross, and when you're working at the power plant, how
Right.
much time did you even have to focus on the skill sets needed for football? Like, were you able to
Well,
spend time
football
doing that? Yeah.
football was a survival thing.
Mm-hmm.
I also boxed at Notre Dame. That's where the chant came from, not the state.
Oh,
Because of me being a championship boxer at Notre Dame, they chanted Rudy because I boxed the bigger guy and beat the bigger guy, became the champion.
oh,
So the students chanted Rudy. And that was a big thing at Notre Dame. Look it up. It's really cool. The bingo bouts. That's where the kids got to know me through boxing. So when they say, oh, no one chanted, well, student body chanted, not the, they had no idea who I was. I didn't have a name on my jersey. I
yeah.
was the last
Yep.
guy. Here's your jersey, go suit up. And that was a gift. I mean, I took that jersey. No, I took that jersey with a lot of pride because to wear that jersey is huge. I walk through that tunnel, it's huge with the team. But today, it's NIL, money, fame, power.
Yep.
I'm not playing, I'm leaving. If I'm not going to play as much, pay me more. I'm doing good, so pay me some more. And the coach says, okay, we'll get you some more money because we need to win here. Is that the way to develop your future kids or your work ethic kids? There's a lot of good kids in sports, as you know, and I think they're just being misguided on money because money it could be good, it could be bad. It could be uh, you could take money, not use it, right? Or take money as, hey, look at me, I got more money than you and I could do it. No, you can't. You gotta, you gotta be smart about your money and smart about how you use your money. And that's not taught. And it's resilience not isn't taught anymore. But the kids do have it, is my point.
Right.
Yeah.
They do have it, and it's awesome. I have a good friend who manages the Milwaukee Brewers, Pat Murphy.
Yep.
He was at Notre Dame when we were shooting the movie. He came to Notre Dame with no job. He needed a job. He wanted to coach Notre Dame. He was a big Notre Dame guy, fan, and he knew who I was. He knew who everybody was. He was that type of guy. He knew if you go back to 1960 and ask him, who was on the right, he would know that. If you give him a number, he would know that kid. My point is, he was in love. He was passionate about Notre Dame, his family, Irish Catholic kids. So he comes to Notre Dame, they won't give him a job. But he hung around till he got the job. They only paid him 7,000 a year. He took a club sport to a national level. Now, what's he doing today? Same thing.
Yep.
You take
Mhm.
average Joe guys, just watch his background. The average Joe, when I say average Joe, the kid that no one wants, the kid that's got the skill, the passion, the talent, the perseverance, that want to, the why. That's who he recruits, and that's the kid he wants. And they win with that. They don't need big payrolls, but they got to pay him. Don't get me wrong. But Notre Dame was the same thing when I was there. You get kids come in with scholarships who are entitled, and they didn't treat you like you were equal. They didn't. That's okay. You got to earn. That's life. You got to earn your respect. And I got that through boxing and by going to practice. I didn't want everyone to like me. I just wanted to do my job. Do your job,
Mm.
you know, and that's what we're missing today.
Sure.
Yeah. Now you brought up earlier how when you went to Notre Dame, they assume you're smart, and a
Right.
part of your story is how people thought you were slow, you were dumb.
I was in high
Turns
school.
out, yeah, and it turns out you were diagnosed with dyslexia when you were at Holy Cross. I'm kind of curious, was that like a well-known term? Were they just
No,
finding
no,
out about
no,
this?
no. That's good. That's a good point. What they found out says there's nothing wrong with you. You just have to learn differently.
Mhm.
Then as you get older, you find out they call it dyslexia. You know?
Yeah.
And say, wow, today I still have the same. I have ADHD. You guys got ADHD, it's
Totally.
really
Yep.
obvious you have it.
Mhm.
You wouldn't do what you do because you gotta shoot for the opportunity. ADHD guys look for opportunity and they grab it and they capture it and they move forward and they let the other guys do the detail. And that's what's great about dyslexic guys, I think. They're visionaries. A lot of successful people in, whether you're an actor, Tom Cruise, great example. You can go on and on. Uh, Bill Gates is another example. John F. Kennedy. They're all dyslexic, but they're visionaries. That's the difference. So they put good people around them because the detail they didn't care about, but it was important. So they hired people that were very important to handle the detail for them. So I learned that concept and used that model. And it works because for me to succeed, I need good people around me at Notre Dame. Good, I call it mastermind groups, kids who knew how to study so I could learn how to study. And they wanted you to learn. So my point is they accept you because you're a student and they didn't question, your past. No one asked about your past. But, it's funny. I showed up at Holy Cross because of my friend who died in that accident. I said, life is too short. And that's the day my whole life changed because literally I gave myself up to God and my whole life changed at that moment. When I say that, all the doubt went away, all the crazy thoughts I had went away. And he said, why you just go get it done? And you did. And when it happened, all the answers were right there. People wanted to help you. So my whole point is when you move towards your dream and get rid of your thoughts that stop you, great things happen. Not at once. You got to persevere.
Sure.
You got because you don't look for the struggle. It's already there. Just handle it as they come. It was like when I went to Hollywood to do the movie.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, speaking of struggle, like,
Yeah.
when did you come up with the idea, like, okay, my story was amazing, this might work as a
I didn't
script?
say my story was amazing. My story is your story. It's
Sure.
that kid's story. It's everybody's story. There's kids here at Notre Dame that were better than Rudy, who struggled more than Rudy.
Hmm.
Uh, And I said, wow. And then I see the movie Rocky and I get inspired. I said, then I try to call Stallone. Then we couldn't connect, but we did connect in 1993. When we were launching our movies together with TriStar. He had Cliffhanger, I had Rudy.
Huh.
Then we connected at that point, and he respected the journey I went through because he went through the same journey.
Yep.
But when you're starting that journey, you're not going to get those guys. You got to earn their respect.
Yeah.
And once you earn their respect, they're going to talk to you and they want to collaborate with you and they want to learn from you, just like I want to learn from them. But you can't come to them and say, hey, let's do a movie. That
Yeah.
doesn't, you know.
I mean, so eventually you did get in, the writer of Hoosiers or the director of Angelo Pizzo. Like, were you involved in the casting part of this at
Yeah,
all?
you know what?
They
It's
consult
interesting.
with you?
You know what? I'm glad you asked that. Angel refused to do the movie. I um, found him through a friend, then through a mailman, believe it or not.
I heard that story.
Yeah, it's a good thing that mailman was in my life at that point. Where are you guys from, by the way?
I'm
Yeah, we're both from Jersey, but
both
he's
from
down in
Jersey.
Georgia
I'm
now.
currently in Georgia right now, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, in California, there's a little restaurant in called Louise's on 9th and Montana in Santa Monica, and I was directed to go meet Angelo there through a friend because Notre Dame just basically said no to me. We're not interested. Just move along, son. And I didn't give up on that. But because of a hotel manager that had a brother that was involved in the movie Hoosiers, got me in touch with him, and he liked the story, connected me with Angelo, and Angelo did not show up for the meeting. So
Huh.
it was a very discouraging moment because at that moment in my life, I was at a tough part because my boss just fired me because I kept going out to California. So I went out there anyhow, and Angel didn't show up, and I don't know what to do. But I saw a mailman with a happy attitude. I call happy attitude, and I just thanked him. I said, "Dude, I needed that. Dude, thanks." So where are you from, man? I said, Indiana. He said, "I'm from Michigan." So we had a little connection there, and within 10 minutes, he's taking me to his house, where he, you know. And because of that moment, here's the magic. The magic is it doesn't happen in your time, but you got to keep telling people, the right people, your story. Because if you don't, It'll never get to the people that could make that decision. Now, it's who or why. The why was, it's an important message. I'm going to do it. The problems I had was with Notre Dame and Hollywood. Hollywood did not want to do it. Angela did not want to write it. One guy. You only need one guy. It was a guy at Columbia Pictures, Frank Price. He was the president. And he went to Michigan State as a walk-on. But he applied to Notre Dame and got turned down. So he went to Michigan State as a walk-on. And when he heard that there's a walk-on story, he told Angela to write it. The guy who would not write the movie
Wow.
ended up writing it. So that's how it all happened. Because of a Michigan State graduate, Michigan State walk-on, and because he knew the struggle walk-ons go through to get to that level. And it's funny how you never know who's in your life. That's why you
Right.
got to keep moving forward and don't give up. You don't never know who you can connect with. It's no different in Notre Dame. Once I got the approval, took 10 years, but there was one priest that gave the approval, but I had to get him at the time that was important, and I found him at the most important time that he needed me, I needed him. And he was the guy who made some decisions on PR or movies. And he said, let's go. This is good. This is what we should do. And it turned out great for Notre Dame, turned out great for people. I got to call a guy today in hospice, just, give him a goodbye talk, because he's going to, where he decides his faith is. But we're going to, I do that all the time. Whether it's, I'll never forget talking to Mike Sweeney from the Kansas City Royals, who was a big Rudy fan I didn't know, or Mariano Rivera, who was a big Rudy fan I didn't know, or Kobe Bryant, who was a big Rudy fan I didn't know, because they grew up with the movie. They get the message. See, it's the message that these great ones adjust to and look at. They don't look at, did it happen? Were you offsides? Oh, was that a joke? You were carried off. I hear how many Super Bowls you have to win to say that.
Exactly.
I mean,
Right.
come on, dude. I mean, you got kids out there. Tell the kids, hey, get resilience, work hard, be a Rudy, don't give up. Why are you worried about whether Rudy got carried off or whether he got a movie? Who cares? It's the message. And when you have narcissistic type of people who are about themselves instead of helping other people, that's the problem. And that's basically where I'm at today with everything. And I'm in the dairy industry. My family was in the dairy industry back, and I just, go back into it because that's where the work ethic is. The farmers, the milkers. You watch those guys, man, 24/7. They got those cows on their mind. But we produce milk, we make the cheese, we sell the cheese, but you got to go and find out, where does it all start with the farmer having a good management schedule with his cows, and how he manages his cows, and he's committed to those cows. It's really awesome. But I wouldn't want that life. I wouldn't want that farmer's life, but man, it was tough. You understand?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I try to help them as much as I can, whether it's through getting their milk to the right cheese guy or whatever. But that's what I do. That's what I'm excited about.
Now we got into the movie, but we kind of skipped over the actual 3 plays that you got in. So I'm kind of curious, when they gave you the thumbs up, you go out there for the 3 plays. It was the kickoff, an incomplete pass, and you were kind of close on the second play for what I saw.
You have to remember, if you show up for practice, right, you get to practice with the first teamers only for maybe 15 minutes. That's all you need. But you learn the technique from those guys, and that's all you needed. And I showed up every day, got beat up. They didn't slow down on me, trust me. They couldn't wait to see me, but they respected me because I was a fighter, a scrapper. And I wasn't one of those kids they would say, oh, we need him to play. That's not me. But we needed him to show up at practice so I could work harder. And that's kind of like where I learned, when was put in that game, I was very comfortable. Now, as you know, no matter what you do, when you're comfortable in what you do, you're ready for anything. You're ready for that little moment. That's what I was ready for that moment. And when I was put in that moment, this is where I was supposed to be. Because I go to practice every day saying, I belong here too. And you practice like you belong there too. Now, if you disguised yourself and faked yourself out by saying, I don't belong here, but I want to be here, so I just want to put on, those dudes know, they notice that and they recognize that. But when you're out there kicking their butt and you're coming back and when they're kicking your butt, they respect that. So when you got put in that game, they wanted you in that game. Not everybody, but a good handful. Willie Fry, Ross Bronner, they were Luther Bradley, all these guys, they were kind of like they wanted you in Jay Afterhoff, all these guys who wanted you in that game because they knew how hard you worked and they knew I was a veteran and they respected that. So all that said, when that moment came, it was only 27 seconds. In 27 seconds, my whole life changed.
Sure.
I was ready to put in 27 years of hard work.
Give us a little insight to when the movie comes out, kind of what is the reception among family, friends? Are they just blown away that this was able to happen? Do they really not believe the moment until they saw that thing on screen?
Right.
Like, what was the reaction amongst your family and friends?
I told my family just have fun.
Yeah.
Don't take it serious.
Yep.
Dude, that's not you in that movie. You know? And I told my dad, just have fun, man. My dad had a sense of humor. He loved it because he laughed, he cried, because he was about the message. And, there were other people, of course, who criticized the movie, which is fine. That's their option, that you could criticize it. But I did it, you didn't, so go away, go have fun, go be your critic, criticize me. But you can't criticize the kid, the little boy
Nope.
who's down that tunnel and says, Hey, Rudy, are you down there still? A little 10-year-old kid who's dreaming. You can't crush that kid's dream. You're not going to go up to Joe Montana and say, I want to be in the Super Bowl like you. How many guys could be like that? One. But how many guys could be Rudy? A lot of us.
A lot of them. Yep.
Yeah. And that's where we connect. Like Mariano Rivera said to me, we were doing autographs in New York. He says, Hey, I make my son watch that movie, Rudy. And you could see the Kobe Bryant video on, you can go on site and go, Kobe Bryant, USC, Rudy. I was at a Lakers game. My daughter's singing the national anthem, and he he went out and found me,
Wow.
tell me I'm his hero. This was during his pre-practice, and I'm just watching him practice, and he knew I was there, which I didn't know he knew I was there. He wanted to meet me because the movie was such a big inspiration to him. Because when he watched the movie, it gave him the message of work ethic, work hard, get better each day. Where are you going to be 20 years from now? Use your talent and skills that you have. And here's a guy with no talent, no skills, who went out and did it every day, but got his one moment. And he wanted his moment, the championships and whatever. But my whole point, it took work ethic. So he identified to that. So when you identify to the great ones, George Foreman introduced me to this whole fight. Mike Tyson would bring his daughter and son, meet my daughter, all I'm saying, they watched that movie too. And because they know how they had to struggle to get to where they got. They identified with the journey, like watching Rocky. That was a fictitious movie.
Yeah.
Rudy was like a documentary compared to that. So we just took a moment. Look at the people we created from that movie. John Favreau. We found him in Second City, washing dishes. Vince Vaughn.
Yep.
Look at those guys today.
Charles S. Dutton.
Sean Astin. I found him on Goonies. You asked me earlier, were you involved in the casting? I found him in the Memphis Belle, the movie Memphis Belle. And they already casted someone, Chris O'Donnell. I loved him, but I wasn't involved in the casting. But hey, I had a good relationship now with the producers in Emerson. I think you guys should look at Sean Astin. He's pretty one of those guys you fall in love with right away. He's naive. He's he's one of those guys that just take a risk. He's vulnerable. He's that type of guy. Yeah, we'll look at him, and they did. They loved him, and that's why he got the part. To get a leading role in Hollywood's very, very, very hard. But that took him off to what? Look what he got from that.
Sure.
He's now the president of Screen Actors Guild. So my whole point is everybody in that movie, Rob Fried, Kerry Woods. Rob Fried is my biggest fan. He was a producer who would not let this movie go. This movie was approved by Columbia Pictures. Frank Price gets fired. Then it was put in turnaround. We had to go back and get it going again. We went over to TriStar because of Rob and got the movie done with Mark Platt and them. So my hope, there was a fight from beginning all the way to the end. Even when we got at Notre Dame, it was a fight. A good fight, not a bad fight. When I say fight, obstacles.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that with Rocky, because now we're literally at the point where we're getting a movie about the making of Rocky coming out, and
Well, we had that
it's amazing.
conversation in 1993 on a jet plane. He talked about he wanted what I had. I said, "What do I have that you don't have?" He says, "You have a legacy. I don't. I have a Rambo. I got Rocky. I don't have what you have. I want people to remember me that I didn't give up either." So I said, he did Creed, which is legacy movies. Now he's doing his legacy. And that's basically, if you talk to Stallone today, he called me a pain in the ass in a positive way. I beat life down to it, gave in. He wrote about that because that's a hero of mine, you know? And my whole point is you got to beat life down. You got to go against the people who are against you. It's not that they just don't understand you. That's okay. Don't get mad at them. Agree to disagree. I don't get it. You're not going to agree on everything. You're going to do like my parents at 14. You think they agreed on everything? My mother had to sing songs to my dad to get him calmed down. My whole point is, as long as we can communicate, that's the key. So whether you're political or religious, just agree to disagree and understand and respect everybody's beliefs. People can change through, common sense. That makes sense. You know, common sense is a big thing. So when you use common sense in real life, life works out much better.
I've listened to some of your inspirational speakings, getting ready for this interview. I'm kind of curious, when you started doing that, did you instantly have an idea what you want to put out there? Did you know you want to talk, as you talk about goofy thoughts in the world? Did you know that right away, or did you have to kind of?
It just came out. It's funny because I never prepare for a speech because I'm a storyteller. So I want to know what that company needs. They need resilience. They need to persevere. They need work ethic. So you tell the story with those feelings and that culture, and you need people to work together. And you can't judge each other. You got to help each other. When you're on a football team, you don't ask the guy next to you, are you Catholic? Are you Republican? Are you Democrat? Hey, dude, you going to block for me? I got your back. That's what the military, you don't ask, can I trust you? It's all about trust. And that's what I do when I speak. I have to trust my inner feelings and let the thoughts come out. And it comes out. I know I have to talk about resilience, have to talk about culture, got to talk about perseverance. So I tell stories around that so they can connect to it. People connect to stories. People don't connect to, hey, the 10 rules to be successful. Or,
right.
What if you missed the fifth one, dude?
Yep.
What happens?
Yeah.
But these people buy into that junk, and it's all junk, but it's good information, but you have to think about it in a different way. I have a friend who went bankrupt twice. Now he's a billionaire. But you know why he's a billionaire? Because he didn't quit. He kept trying.
Yep.
He kept putting it out there, kept believing. And most of us quit when we fail. Oh, that wasn't for me. I should have quit when Angelo didn't show up. I should have quit when Notre Dame made me sign that letter. Don't ever walk on campus, talk about this movie again. Or we will bar you. I should have quit. But I didn't. My mind kept going. Sometimes you got to relax, be patient, and sit back and reevaluate. That's all it means.
Yeah. I'm curious. We know how Hollywood is, and then when they don't
Sure.
let an idea ever go away. Were you ever approached for like a Rudy 2 or a
Yes, and I
remake? I'm
turned it
curious.
down.
There has to be some bad ideas there.
Yeah, no, it's what it does. It brings out the darkness of the journey. I don't want that.
Yep.
You know, and because people are going to misinterpret that, because they're going to
Definitely.
misinterpret Notre Dame, because Notre Dame was tough on me, but good thing they were. It made me better. But they'll text like Dan Devine. They'll talk about, oh, what a mean coach. No, he was just a good coach. He
Yep.
was doing his job. He was given something that was handed to him, that an NCAA rule, only 60 guys could dress. Eric could dress 110. What's the guy going to do? You know, there's a rule he's got to stand by. Oh, Dan Devine was mean. No, he wasn't. He was just doing his job. And that's the point. And Eric was a great coach, and Dan was a great manager of coaches. And there's a difference there. So you have two ways of becoming great. You can manage your people or be a micromanager, whatever you want to be. I'd rather have you manage the coach.
Yeah, I can't imagine a Rudy 2. Like, just let the
No.
story be beautiful and keep it that way.
Leave it alone. We did do a documentary called Rudy Ruettiger, The Walk-On,
Right.
which you can watch. It's good. I wanted to bring out the spirituality of it because it was like a slice. We did the director's cut, by the way. I don't know if you've seen that, but you can go on Fandango and watch a director's cut. We put everybody we cut out of the movie back in, like more of Vince Vaughn's in the movie.
Cool.
More of the relationships are in the movie now. And then you understand why this all happened. You're kind of left hanging a little bit because cut. Now you're going to see why they suited him up or why that guy wanted him. There was one guy he wanted Rudy to suit. It was the captain who went into the defensive coach. And one guy in the movie showed the whole team because I wanted to show it's a team thing, not an individual thing.
Awesome.
So, those are the differences.
Yeah, we don't need like Rudy Tootie or some terrible name. Yeah.
Now, Joe Montana may want another Rudy. He would do his movie, right? He's a good guy though. Yeah. But I think he gets irritated because too many people ask him. That's okay, Joe. Just relax. Focus on the message. Forget about it was a joke.
Rudy, we can't thank you enough for doing our show.
No, you guys are awesome. I love you guys.
We really enjoyed talking to you. If anybody wants to hear who may not have heard your story or want to hear about your inspiration, where are the best places for them to go?
You go to rudy45.com. You go to the website. It has a lot of great stuff on there. And you go to the, I always call the Rudy Ruettiger The Walk-On. You can go to Prime, Amazon Prime, and watch it. It'll tell you a lot.
Final question for me.
Yes.
I know you say you have the haters in researching.
Yeah,
Rich Eisen keeps on saying he swears that if you see him, you're going to punch him in the face. Can you confirm or deny you're going to do that?
That was a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, why would I fight Rich Eisen? When I'm telling Eisen, you're a Michigan guy, dude, relax. And I said, why are you asking guys whether it's true? Where are your feelings at, dude? It's the message. Yep. Come on. You could hate Notre Dame. Angelo hated Notre Dame. That's why I didn't want to write the movie. He hated Notre Dame, but he wrote a wonderful movie because of the message. You understand?
Yep.
Rick, get to the message. you'll capture more kids who are struggling right now with this NIL stuff, and you get them to, get them to work harder. Go to the Division II schools. They'll fine you if that's the case. You're not getting any more scholarships from high school like you are, or, this transport portal crap, I mean, who's going to hire that guy that transferred 3 times?
It's crazy, man.
It's just nuts. But my whole point, it's a train wreck. It's going to straighten itself out. But you need guys like Rick Eisen, who has the voice, who can bring that message out in a good, positive way. It's like we give the Rudy Award out to the Milwaukee Brewers every year. Why? He picks his Rudy. The Yankees, I mean, they pick their Rudy, who's a hard worker, who's the guy that wasn't supposed to make it that's here. We give the Rudy Award out to the federal prison wardens. I mean, we go on and on. We give to the doctor that wasn't supposed to be the doctor, that became the doctor, that persevered, that got through medical school, that wanted to quit. He's the Rudy. I am Rudy. That's who you are, not Rudy Ruettiger. You're persevering. You're believing. You're moving forward, dude. You're not gonna let you define yourself. Don't let people define you, and that's the big thing.
Rudy, thank you so much.
So you tell Rick Eisen.
Yeah, Mike, you tell him.
Yeah. All right, I'm looking him up right now.
You know what? Those guys don't have the courage to call me. Why don't they call me?
You know what? If you want to punch someone in the face, you can punch Mike here.
Hey, Mike,
for the show.
That'll be that'll be the pot for Rudy too.
Mike. I won't ever hit you, bro.
I appreciate it, Rudy. Thank you so much. Good luck with everything you're doing.
Yeah,
Go Notre Dame this year. Love to have you back on down the road.
Hey, let me say one more quick. I'm going to give you a story about the Manning family.
Go ahead.
Archie Manning is the best father you could have.
Seems to have done a pretty good job. Yeah.
Hey, he's straight. Archie, you don't think he wanted to quit? I think he gave that 10 million back to the university. Because you didn't earn that yet, bro. That's Archie talking. You know what I mean? That's family. That's awesome. That's what's incredible. If these kids give the money back to the university, they can get an endowment between 5 and 6% the rest of their life. Is it? I would rather have that.
Yeah.
Now you have a legacy. Now you have something. Now you have something, and you won't blow your money. You know what I mean? And you can always be proud of that. So anyhow, God bless you guys. Have a great one.